4:49 right now. In your health this morning, stimulants used to treat ADHD may be making kids fat. Doctors looked at more than 160,000 children diagnosed with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. They found kids who received stimulants were at an increased risk of becoming obese when they became teenagers. The effect was more pronounced the longer kids took stimulants and the younger when they started. In contrast, kids who have ADHD, who took non-stimulant medications were found to be the normal weight range. Study authors say this makes sense as stimulant medications often affect appetite, and parents need to take that into consideration when deciding what's best for their children. After our long, hard winter, you may be anticipating today, the first day of spring, even more this year. Some have called spring nature's antidepressant. Doctors say part of the reason the first day of spring is such a pick-me-up is because of what winter does to us all.
In the winter, our ability to recreate, to get with other people, to engage in leisure time activities is really reduced.
Researchers have studied how mood and mental health can be impacted by the weather and found a correlation between warmer, sunnier days and improved mood. They say even people not affected by weather can experience joy and depression based on what's going on outside. And they say the vitamin D we naturally get from the sun can also improve our moods. And the start of spring can also bring on spring allergy symptoms for some. Doctors say this allergy season could be worse this year because of what they call a polar pollen syndrome. They say a wet winter can help trees and plants pollinate in the spring, which can bring on sneezing and those itchy eyes. But there are things people can do.
Allergy shots are nice in that they help you build an immunity to the things you're allergic to, so that over time we see a decrease in symptoms.
Doctors say even over-the-counter antihistamines can help when taken before symptoms start. An Iowa first grader is one of the first in the state to get a new type of hearing implant. Ian Lance was having trouble in school, and doctors later discovered it was because he had a hard time hearing. After his diagnosis, the doctor thought he was the perfect fit for a new hearing implant just approved by the Food and Drug Administration.
It's really impacted his learning, and so we're just really excited to see how that, him hearing for the first time really helps him learn. So that'll be probably the best thing.
Ian's still adjusting to the device, but says he can already hear better. The device cost $30,000, but was covered by insurance. Two brothers in Illinois are turning heads in their community after raising thousands to help fight cancer. Michael and Tony Malcory all raised nearly $200,000 for childhood cancer research, all part of St. Baldrick's Day. More than 500 people in the Mount Carmel community shaved their heads to raise cash for research. They were inspired by cancer victims they knew, including a great uncle who died of the disease.
And we really wanted to honor his life by donating all the money that we could to help kids get through the hardship and what they're going through right now.
Michael has been fundraising for St. Baldrick's since 8th grade, making this his 4th year. In that time, he's raised more than $500,000 for childhood cancer research. A Minnesota boy's dream comes true after writing a letter to his sports idol, Shaun White. The Olympic gold-winning snowboarder didn't write a letter back, but as Jana Shortle reports, White did something much more spectacular for an 8-year-old boy.
My name is Jet Fun.
Jet penned this letter 15 months ago.
I am 8 years old.
It was for Shaun White, and he wrote it because Jet's mom told him he and Shaun were alike.
Just like you, I have heart surgery too.
Jet and Shaun, grown-ups know, are worlds apart. But in a kid's eyes, writing that letter to Shaun because he and Jet shared a heart defect and a love for snowboarding made sense. And last month, a KARE 11 viewer saw the story about the letter and used his connections to get it to Shaun White. This is what happened yesterday.
Jet and Cooper Fern.
If Christmas weren't designated to December, you could have fooled Jet.
Oh my gosh, Jet, look at what it says.
Shaun White wrote back on a brand new snowboard, goggles, a helmet, a backpack, and a poster.
To Jet, walk on, Shaun White.
To say Jet was rocked would be underselling it.
Just what I wanted!
And for his mom, just a renewed sense of faith that little boys should write letters to anyone they please.
That means a lot. People reach out to little kids
Because when Jet wrote this letter, he had only one request.
Please write me back.
He likely wished for a note in return. It's pretty great when a kid can't even wish big enough for what they get.
When asked what he would like to do when he grows up, Jet replied he'd like to be like his idol and snowboard in the Olympics. Temperatures will start to feel a little spring-like today. James will be back with the forecast, but first here's one of the events we want to spotlight for today. You know, you could step inside Planet Earth. A huge Earth balloon model is at the Family Museum in Bettendorf. Up to 30 people can get into that thing. It's free with admission to the museum. You're watching the Quad Cities First News on Good Morning Quad Cities at 4:30.